Hi there, Chris here with another fresh tip for you all. In this video we are going to continue our look at painting the Stonekin Battleborn from Relicblade. And in this video, this is kind of part 2 of working on that loincloth, and in this video we're going to work on some yellow. Those little dangly bits that are hanging from his belt line that the little metal buckle things are attached to, we're painting those. We're going to use some Everland Sunset as our initial layering here. This is from Citadel. It's the base color. This is a really fantastic color. I like using this to establish something that is yellow, because when you lay this stuff down, even in 2 thin layers, it completely covers an area, and even sitting on top of black, it's really fantastic. And again, on a light gray, it's going to sit there just fine. So 2 little layers, those little things are covered. We're going to come back in with some Everland Sunset and some contrast Shyish Purple with a little bit of Lamian Medium just to thin this color out, or this mixture I should say. I'm taking a dollop of Everland Sunset and a somewhat minimal amount of Shyish. There really wasn't that much I grabbed onto the brush. Doesn't take too much to change the value of that color. A little bit of medium to thin it out for application purposes, and we begin laying it in. Now I lay this on its sides of the I don't know what the heck those things are. Ribbons? No. But either way, I lay this down. I also lay a little bit more on the band, and then very quickly feather it out downwards of the dangly bit. I have no idea what this detail would be, but either way, it is feathered out. And again, I'm just concentrating more of the color on the sides of these details as well as the back. I don't show going in behind underneath his bottom, just because I think you guys kind of understand what I'm doing with that. Next, we're going to come back in with some more Shyish Purple, and we're using a fairly generous amount, and we thin it down, and we grab a somewhat generous amount of water just to thin out just a little bit of that color, turning it almost into like a shade wash kind of consistency, and I glaze it onto the sides as well as up near the buckle as well. This is just so I can lay in just a little bit of a transition at the high points. I'm building the color deeper up towards the buckles and getting brighter towards the bottom. That is the end goal here. This is more of a stylized approach to highlighting these kind of details, because if we were going for a more realistic type of zenithal highlighting, or more realistic, the highlights would be more in towards the center and up by the buckles, as it were. Everland Sunset and your yellow 1-to-1 mix ratio. Slap it onto our palette, give it a quick mix, make sure it's thoroughly mixed, and then with a nice detailed little brush here, I'm going to begin laying in this highlight, and I'm going to slowly build up the color. And again, I'm using left to right type brush stroke here, very, very small, basically using little lines and dashes. And this is again to create that idea of texture on that surface. Here you can see I'm simply using the edge of the brush to create a little edge highlight along that leading edge, and this is again to create that idea that it's cloth there and not a smooth surface, as it were. We're coming in with some more yellow. Slap that onto the palette. No thinners needed, just the dampness of the brush just to thin the color out ever so slightly. And with that leading edge, I just simply lay in a nice bright corner to that. And I thought, well, and I do a little bit more dashes as well. I do end up going into some areas onto that bottom tip of that cloth there, so I clean that up afterwards. Just a little bit of that basilicum gray from the previous video. As you can see there, it's reestablished. Coming in with some white scar, we're going to slap that into our mixture of the Everland Sunset and Euro Yellow for a nice brighter color. And again here, I'm going to use little dashes, but this time I'm also going to create some little scratch marks, and I will also change up the angle at which I am laying this color. It is not a consistent like brush stroke all the way up. You can see I'm simply just laying it in high points and kind of just going with my gut as far as how I want to lay this color down. Again, it gives us a bit of a idea of texture on that surface, and there it is. When it's all said and done, it is highlighted and ready to go, and I'm fairly happy with that. I had an idea of laying little symbols on it, and maybe we'll come back and lay symbols on there. I don't know. I have no idea what the symbology is in Relicblade, but huge thank you to all my patrons. Without their support, these videos would not be possible. If you're considering Patreon support, click the link in the description below, and it will take you off to Patreon, where you can support at varying tiers. Take care of those brushes, and they will take care of you.